It is the general view of most Sierra Leoneans that a government's role is to provide all the necessities of its citizenry. However, when you consider certain issues such as bad governance and corruption, you'd realize that such governments are bound to fail. It is in that respect that I decided to delve a little into the private sector to find out what Sierra Leoneans are doing to better their lives and the economy of the country. My subject for this interview is Mr. Andrew Kamara, a retired senior citizen who is engaged in agricultural work, and I asked him for how long he has been retired.
Well, I shouldn't actually say how long I've been retired. I was forced into retirement by the rebel war. And when my home got burned down on the 6th of January, 1999, I thought I had lost everything I had worked for. So there was nothing else for me to do. I was advanced very much in age, so I had to find something else to do to supplement income, to be able to sustain myself. So that was why I went into farming.
What work did you do before your retirement?
Before my retirement, I was an engineer with a bias on heavy earth-moving equipment. I am a British-trained engineer, and since I got forced into the retirement at an early age, and there were no other job opportunities at the time due to the rebel war, so I had to find something else to do. So agriculture came in very handy. Although it was a new ground for me, it was a job I knew nothing about. I had to start from scratch.
Which of the two jobs, being an agriculturist and being an engineer, do you find more challenging?
Oh, the agriculture job is far more challenging because I had no formal training in it. No formal training. I just jumped into it out of necessity. It was very necessary for me to find something else to do. With engineering, I was trained to do it. I was trained locally, I was trained abroad. So it wasn't much that difficult with the sort of training I had. But with agriculture, it's trial and error, and that means a lot of futile endeavors, a lot of mistakes. It was a long period of a learning process. In fact, I'm still in the process of learning, but I am a little more advanced now. So agriculture, or in other words, what I am doing now is far more challenging than whatever I had done in life.
Did you decide to become a farmer because of the previous government's call for food security?
Actually, no. I had made up my mind. Of course, something I was thinking about. It all started a long time ago as a little boy. I set myself 3 goals: bear children, educate them, find them a shelter, then provide myself for old age. So since I had my children educated, since I had provided shelter for them, the next thing left for me to do was to make provision for my old age. So the only thing I could do at the time is farming. No job opportunities, no pension I could rely on, nothing. So I had to do farming to sustain myself and my family.
What do you think of the former government's decision to establish the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT?
That is the best thing that ever happened to this country. NASIT is the best thing that ever happened to this country. I am suffering now, if I can call it suffering, because there was no NASIT. I have all the time been working in the private sector, private mining companies, wherein there were nothing like provident funds, there were nothing like retirement benefits. You leave work today, they pay you a lump sum, you go away, you spend it all within a day. It was not even enough to spend for a day. You eat it all up, you spend it all up, and that's the end of it. You tend to fend for yourself now for the rest of your life. What now? The young men now, I only hope they'll take advantage of it, because right now you get this NASIT, you join it at an early age with a minimal 5% contribution of your earnings. After some time, you leave, you and your family on retirement. You should be laughing all the way to your grave.
What is the name of your business?
Oh. I had nothing to start the business with. It was actually started out of nothing. All I had was the land. So I had to team up with somebody. I could not have done it by myself. So I had to team up with somebody. I could not get anybody to team up with. But my wife came to the rescue. She decided to team up with me. So we decided to put hands together and carry on these agricultural endeavors, so for the common good of the family. So we had to find a name for it. Now, the most suitable name, since it is a joint venture, is joining two words together. The first three letters of my name, Andrew, which is AND, and the first three letters of our own first name, which is Helen, HEL. So this is why you have Andel. Andel Enterprises. Enterprises, because we don't want to limit it only to agriculture. We have the humanitarian part of it. The area we are operating, we have disadvantaged children. So in the farm, we decide to allocate a small portion of the farm with a small building to establish some sort of a preschool. The nearest school in the village where we are operating is 4 miles away. You cannot expect 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds to walk 4-5 miles a day to and from school. No. So what we have done, we incorporated an educational aspect of our farm, free of course. That is how the one way we are giving back to the community. We train these kids on preschooling activities, ABC, that sort of thing. Then after 1 or 2 years, 4-5-year-old, when they reach the school-going age, the national school-going age of 6 years, then they go to the formal school. That is what we are doing. That is our own way of paying back to the community.
Where is this business located?
Oh, it's not far away. It's very close to a famous landmark of the country, which is the Lunge International Airport. It's about 4-5 kilometers from the airport. It's a very depressed area, and unemployment is what? 80-90%. So with our farm, we are able to employ about 6 people at the moment, and we're giving them a salary. These 6 people have about 6 families. Each family has about 5, 6, 7 children. So you see, we are looking after 40-50 people with our own small venture, with what we are able to pay them. The farm is not producing much yet, but we added some other activities like the poultry, which is fast paying, and a cattle ranch, which is fast paying. So we added that to the oil palm plantation, which predominates, which actually forms the major part of the farm, but that takes a long time, 4-5 years. They've started producing now. Very soon, we should start producing palm oil. And with that palm oil, we want to go into soap making, because palm oil forms 60-70% of the raw material for soap making. Since we are producing the palm oil, we want to venture into soap making. That will give us another opportunity to employ a little bit more people, so that we will share with whatever comes out of our endeavors. We can share with the community.
Do you consider Andel Agricultural Enterprises your own pension scheme?
Actually, as I said earlier, we needed something to take us to old age. My wife is working now, but she's a little bit advanced in age. Sooner or later, she will need to retire. And we will then have two retired people in the home with very little income. So we look up